All right, guys. So it looks like in the past week, past 2 weeks, past 3 weeks, we've had tons of ACL tears in the football world. Just to name a few, we have Bremer on Juventus, Rodri, Man City, Carvajal on Real Madrid, and even Zapata in the Serie A for Torino quite recently. And just yesterday, Carboni, who is on loan at Marseille from Inter Milan. So tons of top level players getting ACL tears. And of course, in the comments, in the captions, the biggest, excuse, biggest reasoning is, oh, there's too many games. Well, too many games, again, as a reminder to you guys, too many games, or like whatever arbitrary number of games that you want to put in your mind is too much. That's not a reason for a catastrophic non-contact ligament tear such as the ACL, which is one of the most important for your knee to work correctly. Now, I know many of you are going to say, okay, like some of these are contact. Well, the ones that are contact are very, very limited contact, and those same kind of contact interactions happen on the pitch all the time, and players don't tear their ACL. So there's a rhyme or a reason to the madness. All right. So like you can watch videos of all these guys, and what happens is usually, and for example, we'll talk more specifically about the Juventus player Bremer. Basically, he goes into it with his left foot with heel first contact. The ankle buckles, it collapses, and that leads to a not so good positioning of the knee joint. And he tries to absorb the force of the player coming next to him. Doesn't work out because the ankle collapsed, leaving the knee, again, like I said, in a very vulnerable position. With the wrong angle, pop. There goes the ACL. So yeah, these ACLs are not supposed to happen. It's not caused by too many games. Too many games is basically just shines a light on the underlying issues that players have nowadays, and that clubs have nowadays, being unable to give their players the right treatment and the right protocols to prevent these injuries from happening in the first place. Now, besides like looking at the actual biomechanics, I do want to cover factors that are important for preventing and recovering from ACL tears. Sleep, grounding, mitochondrial function, the metabolic disorders, poor nutrition, everything with your health and nutrition, lifestyle recovery, all that has a place to play because of the effect on your hormones, and then the effect that your hormones have on the performance of your tendons and your ligaments and your soft tissue to prevent these injuries. And all the things that I covered could be the difference between an ACL tear, like maybe a sore, bruised knee, and no pain at all. It's on a spectrum, right? So once you take care of all those low-hanging fruit, you can definitely focus on the training. And again, you fix the foot functionality, you fix the ankle stiffness, you create a good landing point for the foot on the ball of the foot, not on the heel, so that the ankle does not collapse in high force movements and leave the knee joint vulnerable. Now, I'll put a video here. When you pivot and twist as a footballer, you should have one central point of contact on the ball of the foot, and then the toes, the knee, and the hip should all be in the same line, twisting side to side as you rotate your torso, either running forward or even just in a twisting motion when you change direction. The moment that, let's say, your knee leaves the angle of your toes and hip, that's when you get serious ACL tears like we saw in the videos. So for all these guys, they have a long road back, 9 to 12 months at least. I'm sure they're all doing surgery. There is some interesting research coming out of Australia about this cross bracing protocol to heal the ACL without surgery. But it's most likely all these clubs are not going to, risk their assets on this new procedure and, trust their surgeon that they pay a bunch of money to. But there are things coming in the future. But what you guys need to worry about is fixing the root cause of what caused the ACL tear. That injury, the ACL tearing, and you doing surgery does not fix what caused the ACL to tear. And so this is a systematic error, a serious issue that led to the ACL tear in the first place. Now, if you were out in the wild, away from human civilization, and you tore your ACL, that would most likely mean your death because you could no longer run and hunt or lift objects and squat correctly. So you would probably have some issues without a proper rehab program out in the wild. And so why do I mention that? Is because to show you what a catastrophic thing that is. It's a fatal consequence for that to happen. So for big clubs to allow that to happen to their prized assets is pretty bad. It's really bad. And I'm gonna tell you here, the physios, the trainers, all of the S&C staff at these clubs, they have a part to play in this. And of course, they go home and they go to sleep, no problem from their side. But in reality, they had a hand in this, and it's partly their fault because they do not understand what leads to these injuries. They don't understand how the human body works in elite performance. And they're going off of 20, 30, 40-year-old paradigms that they learned in school simply because they were told it and they're brainwashed, and they just follow what they were told to think and to say, and they don't question the narrative about human biomechanics. And so if you're a footballer that wants to prevent ACL tears, you need to fix the biotensegrity of your feet, of your hands, of your tongue/jaw. And those are the three catalysts of the human body that we train to fix everything else in between those three, let's say, entrance points into the human body. Now, if you've already torn your ACL and you've had surgery, then the solution is the same with some minor tweaks based on your timeline. Now, for guys that have already had surgery on their torn ACL and the ligament has been reconstructed, your physio that you're going to with your insurance, his job is to get back the muscle mass and the full range of motion in that joint. That's his job. If he doesn't do that, he's failed. But it's not his job to fix the underlying root cause, because that's not how he was trained. That's not what he gets paid for. And that actually isn't good for his business model, because less injuries means he gets paid less. So he needs more injuries, so he has more people in the beds, basically, doing therapy all the time. That's what you come to me for. I fix the underlying root cause of your issues so that you can live a happy and fulfilled life, and you can play the sport you love and excel at the highest level. Now, if you're interested in doing that, down below in the description, there's a link for our free assessment where I'll put you through a few exercises, and you'll send me videos of yourself doing it, and then we'll talk about what is a good program for you going forward. If you enjoyed this video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave some thoughts on any other topics that you'd like me to cover. All the best. Talk soon, guys.